On that first day, that first Easter day, while Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and the other women went to the tomb, two disciples were walking away from Jerusalem, walking away from the place where hope had died, walking away from everything they thought they knew. They were headed to Emmaus, Mary and her husband Cleopas. And they were not taking a leisurely stroll. They were running for their lives because Rome had just executed Jesus, and followers tend to share the fate of the one they follow. So they walk fast, anxious, overwhelmed, grieving. And as they walk, they talk. They rehearse the story. They turn it over and over again. We had hoped. And isn't that the saddest phrase? We had hoped. We had hoped things would be different. We had hoped God would act. We had hoped this would turn out another way. And somewhere between Jerusalem and Emmaus, a stranger comes alongside them. It is Jesus, but they don't recognize him because grief will do that. Fear will do that. Loss will do that. It clouds your vision. It distorts what's right in front of you. Friends can feel like strangers, and even God can feel far away. But notice what Jesus does. He doesn't interrupt them. He doesn't correct them. He doesn't say you're wrong. He asks a question. What are you discussing as you walk along? And they stop. They stop because someone has finally noticed their pain. And they tell him everything. For miles, they tell the story. Their confusion, their disappointment, their shattered hope. And Jesus listens. There is something profoundly tender about this moment. The risen Christ walking at their pace, listening to their grief, honor their story. And only later at the table, in the breaking of the bread, in hindsight, are their eyes opened. Not in the rush, right? Not in the fear, but in the staying, in the sharing, in the presence. And suddenly they see that he was with them the whole time. And that is the promise that on the road of confusion, on the road of grief, on the road where we're just trying to hold it together, Christ comes alongside us, quietly, gently, patiently, not forcing recognition, not overwhelming us, but waiting for the moment when our eyes can finally open. And how does he come? He comes in the forgiveness of a friend, in the embrace of a loved one, in the gathering and the singing and the sharing, in the steady presence of someone who listens instead of fixing. He comes in ordinary moments that become holy. And here is the challenge of this story. If Christ can be hidden from them, we know that Christ can be hidden from us. So what keeps us from seeing Christ? Is it fear or distraction? Is it grief, self-doubt, self-righteousness, overwhelm? Is it the noise of a life that never slows down long enough to notice? Because the truth is that we are all walking some kind of Emmaus road, and the invitation is not just to find Christ, but to recognize him in one another. in the poor and the forgotten, in those whose dignity is overlooked or denied, because until everyone is welcome at the table, we have not fully seen him. And as his disciples, this is our calling, to walk with one another, to listen deeply, to break bread generously, and in doing this, to make visible the Christ who is already among us. Luke's story reminds us the risen Christ is known in long walks, in honest conversations, in hearts that burn slowly back to life, and in the bread that is broken and shared. So if you feel like you are walking away, if you feel like hope is behind you, pay attention, because Christ may already be walking beside you.